Hello everyone, it's me again. It was good seeing you this past Tuesday. Today what we're going to look at is a continuation of this unit regarding the new imperialism, 1800 through 1914. So far what we've looked at in regards to it is Africa and how Africa was affected by the Europeans, Northeast Africa with Egypt, India with the British. And now we're going to be looking at how this new imperialism, 1800 through 1914, affected East Asia, in particular China and Japan. Now, in a moment, what I'm going to be sharing with you is a Google Doc that's going to be containing information regarding Western imperialism in East Asia, and again, in particular, China and Japan. And what we want to think about in looking through this information regarding China and Japan are two big questions. One, how are nations' identities affected by their contacts and conflicts with others? In this case, again, with China and Japan. And the second question, how did 19th century Western imperialism influence Japan and China's modern nation-building efforts? How did the two countries respond to Western imperialism differently? And I think that is important to mention here, because as you look at this information in this Google Doc, you will see that China responded to Western imperialism one way and Japan responded to it in another way. Let me go over with you right now what you're going to see in that Google Doc. The first thing that you will see is this man's picture. That is Cecil Rhodes, who we've discussed regarding this new imperialism in Africa. And there's a quote by him. You're also going to see in bold the word imperialism, which we have defined as a policy in which a stronger nation attempts to create an empire by dominating weaker nations or areas of the world. And this could be done either economically, politically, culturally, or militarily. You're also going to be reading information about what motivated the Europeans, as well as why they were successful in their efforts in regards to Western imperialism in East Asia. And as you read down, you will see more information regarding Japan and China. You're also going to be looking at this map, Spheres of Influence 1850 through 1914. And really the definition for a sphere of influence is where an outside power or nation claims exclusive trading rights over an area. And you'll be seeing how the European nations such as Russia, Great Britain, Germany, and France started to carve out spheres of influence in China between 1850 and 1914. So as you look at that map, you're also going to be answering three questions regarding it. The first one is, what motivated European nations to colonize Africa and Asia in the 1800s? How did they justify their conquest of other lands and people? And you'll find information in this part of the handout regarding that. But in regards to the map, there's two other questions here. What did you notice about the boundaries of the Qing Empire, the last imperial dynasty of China, which ruled from 1644 to 1912? What do you notice about the boundaries of Japan? How did they change over time? So those are two questions that you'll be answering regarding the ruling dynasty in China, which was known as the Qing Empire, as well as the Empire of Japan. Now, what you're also going to be doing in this Google Doc is you're going to be looking at two timelines of major events in China, 1839 through 1919, as well as another timeline regarding Japan, 1853 through 1919. Now, what I would suggest when it comes to looking at this timeline and the accompanying question is to look at the question first before you look at both timelines. For example, when it comes to the timeline regarding China, the question is this: what are the most significant events that occurred in China during this period? List at least 3 of them and explain why. So look at this question, and then you're going to go through the timeline. And it starts in regards to China in the year 1839, and it goes all the way through the 19th century into the 20th century, the year 1900 with the Boxer Siege or the Boxer Rebellion, 1911, all the way up to the Treaty of Versailles, 1919, which ended the First World War or World War I. So you are to look at this timeline and you are to pick 3 events that you feel were the most significant in China during this time and explain why. And again, you're going to do the same thing for Japan. Right, there is the question down here: what are the most significant events that occurred in Japan during this period? List at least 3 of them and explain why. And with Japan, what we have is the year 1853, where Commodore Matthew Perry opened up Japan into 1854, going through the 19th century into the 20th century with the Russo-Japanese War, 1904 through 1905. And again, similar to China, dealing with the Treaty of Versailles in the year 1919. So what I ask for you to do in preparation for Tuesday's class is to answer those questions regarding the information with imperialism, the motivations, why they were successful, in addition to the 2 questions, one question on the timeline involving China and the other question involving Japan. I will be asking you questions about it, possibly through Google Classroom on Tuesday during our live session. You should also take a minute or some time to look at information or videos that I have attached here regarding the modernization of China, as well as the modernization of Japan. And I think that in looking through all this information, both reading and listening to a video and the information that's presented there, you will see that there was definitely a difference in regards to how China responded to Western imperialism and how Japan responded to Western imperialism. If you have any questions regarding this assignment, please feel free to reach out to me. Tomorrow is Friday. I have office hours in the morning. I can also speak to you individually. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you on Tuesday. Bye-bye.